Hello. Welcome to another episode of Some Guy on His Phone. Today we're going to talk about McGregor. Now, McGregor is the kind of opponent you want to meet in a dark room. You know what I mean? He's a bit flamboyant, isn't he? He's a bit of a showboat. McGregor. He's really like to put it on thick. It concerns boating around in the water. Now, his career's been a bit topsy-turvy now, hasn't it? Yeah. A bit topsy-turvy of a career. You know, he's lost some fights. Yeah. He doesn't have a perfect record. You know, well, why would he? It's not like the man knows how to kick or anything. I mean, if he just could figure out how to get his knee above his waist, he might be able to stand up against some Filipino Muay Thai fighters. I don't know if he'd make it through some Muay Thai fighting in the Philippines. That's where I'd really like to see him. Yeah. I'd like to see McGregor fight some raw deal Filipinos. Some Muay Thaiers. Some wrapping the shins. That's what I'd like. I'd like to see him go up against some real hard dogs. See if his wiggly ass can squirm out of something else. He's a bit of a squirmer now, isn't he? Yeah. He's a bit rubbery. I call McGregor the rubber chicken. That's what he is. Who am I? I'm Peter Griffin. Welcome to Davetopia. McGregor, he's a big talker. He's always getting in your face, always trying to pump you up, you know? Trying to rile you, trying to get you off kilt. That's McGregor. He's always trying to mess with your head. I think his childhood must have been really good to analyze from a psychological aspect. I'd really like to do a number on this fool at a psychological level. Real up close and personal. Can you imagine Dave being McGregor's psychoanalyst? Let's see how it would go. Let's imagine, Charlotte. Let's imagine Dave as Dr. Katz. And McGregor as being some random patient that comes in all angry and starts yelling at the receptionist for no good reason. I'd love to put him on the couch. Yeah. Let's put him on the couch, shall we? The man must have had much love in his child. He must have had a loving, dearing childhood. I can see him at the age of 5 in the backyard, beating up the dog. I'm sure they went through a lot of dogs. He's probably got reminiscence of dogs in his mind. Like, which dog did I had? A brown dog once? No, it was kind of weird looking. It was kind of whitish blue. But he keeps remembering the brown dog for some reason. No, we had a brown dog, and his name was Cecily. I was like, no, you had a whitish blue little tabernacle dog, you know, something that barely gets past the sneaker. You know, that just kind of wiggles and fluffy. Like, that's what you had. I don't know where this brown dog came from. Maybe you had it a couple of years prior, but I'm sure it disappeared somehow. Like, where'd the dog go? I don't know. Let's just get him another. Just get him another one. That must have been Gregor's childhood. It's been like, where's the dog? Can you tell me the dog's name? His name was Cecily. Was it cute? It was like, well, it was so incredibly cute that we had to give it away. I got heartworms. It got heartworms. That's what Mommy told me. Mommy said the dog got heartworms. We had to give it away. Then we had it. You must have had like 50 dogs growing up, you know, going through the childhood days. You probably get him in the ring and be like talking about his dog, start crying, you know. Like I'll beat him in the ring. I'll start making him cry and start talking about his dogs, you know, from childhood. Like, do you remember that dog that used to come up on the couch and kind of put its little butt near your leg, you know, and just kind of sit there and pet it and stuff? You remember that weird little brown dog? You remember that one? Yeah, like I just get him right there in the heart and the mind, right before I even throw a punch. Right in the heart and the mind, be like, you gotta sink this, is gonna let it sink in. That's how I'd start the fight with McGregor. I wouldn't even go for the body or the physical. I'd go right for the heart and the mind. Start talking about his dead dogs. We delve deeper into the psychoanalysis of this piece of human garbage. We might think otherwise, going, let's think about his behavior for a second. Now, I grew up in South Florida. No, I did. For 14 years, I grew up in South Florida. Now, I don't know if you know anything about South Florida, but there's a lot of people there from I don't remember where, but they're from other places. And these people like to do a lot of dancing and a lot of singing and a lot of playing of instruments and a whole lot of partying. I mean, these are the kind of people that just every time it gets to Friday evening around 5, they're just already singing and happying it up all the way till 1 in the morning. You know, that's just the way their life has always been. Probably always will be, hopefully. And these kind of people down there in South Florida, they like to have a good time, you know? They like to have a good party. They really like to party it up. And when I see analyzing seeing myself analyzing McGregor at a psychological and behavioral level, I'm like, well, this man probably spent some time with the same dudes I knew in South Florida. They like to party a lot on Friday nights. A lot of dancing involved. I'm sure of it, you know? Like, I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Yeah, come on. You know. Yeah. Bump it up. So I got the man, he's on the couch, and I'm like, well, first I'm going to hit him in the heart and mind with those dogs. I'm not going to be like, well, let's go for the gut. First punch right to McGregor, right in the gut. That's where I'm going to hit him, right in the gut. Right in the gut. Like, oh, you like some, Oingo Boingo music? Do you? You like some Oingo Boingo? Yeah, that's good. You want to put on some Oingo? Let's put on some Oingo Boingo. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it right now. Like right now. Let's put on like every Oingo Boingo track there is, man. Let's do it. Just right. Come on, right now. So I'm like, well, this man's got to have some stomach issues. Occasionally. I'm sure he's got a nice toned six-pack and all. I'm sure that's all nice on the exterior, but I'm like, well, let's think about the man's interior for a sec. Given certain lifestyles that I've come aware of. I'm like, if I'm gonna punch this man, I'm gonna get him all soft and giggly right at the beginning. I'm gonna hit him right in the gut, right in that coke gut. Probably had a few sodas before the fight. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure he drank the right thing before our fight. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna get you right in the gut first, just to make you think about how it feels getting nailed in the gut that hard with your six-pack of non-glass like material. I'm like, well, once you punch through glass, you see the human six-pack is like, that's just an easy target. Hopefully he's dancing around a little bit, so maybe he won't get hit as hard. But when I just see that as like, I just paint a target, I'd be like, well, I just smacked that bad boy right there. Maybe we won't hit the, the soft spots. Like the infamous xiphoid process or something. You don't want to hit nothing soft like for your coke stomach. No, I wouldn't go there first. I wouldn't sit there and wait for him to do his little barrage of attacks, all mad like barrage of attacks. His kicking, this kneeing. There's some kneeing. There's not much kicking, but there's some kneeing and some swinging of fists, elbows, and whatever. There's a whole lot of this angry, aggressive. I'm gonna actually beat you like I am going to hurt you. That's how the man hits people. He's like, I'm gonna hit you so that I can just hurt you. I'm like, oh, you must have grew up on the high school fighting ring or something. He's still at the high school level when it comes to fighting. I'm like, good. Let's psycho blab the crap out of this bastard before I even step in the ring. Before we even watch another one of his fights. Let's not have to watch another one of his fights. Oh, that would be a tear. No, I just start tearing up. I'm like, man, you're the most... Oh, I don't even want to say. I do want to say. I'll get to do it later, but we're not at that level yet. We're still at the psycho babble on it. I'm still standing on my sandbox or whatever. Yeah. Trying to get it all primed up. I'm going to go for the gut first, and I'm going to wait for his barrage of quippy little attacks, just to hurt me. Like, I'm going to punch him in the ear. I'm going to punch him in the shoulder. I'm going to punch him in the knee. I'm going to punch him in all these weird, wacky ways with the weirdest, crappiest attacks I can imagine. Just to, slap. I'm trying to slap the man. That's what I feel when he comes in with his barrage. I'm like, I'll just let him do it. Just let him do it. He'll tire himself out in about 45 seconds. So he just sit there and be like, all right, go ahead. Did you kick me? Did you kick me? I couldn't feel it. I guess you didn't hit me in the nads or nothing, so I didn't feel your kick. I'll just stand there and take it until you look a little bit tired. Just a tiny bit tired. Yeah. Some of us know. Some of us know about recoup time. So I'm like, I'm just going to wait till he gets just a tiny bit, just a tad tired from his incoming barrage of yelling and screaming and slapping at me like a 15-year-old high school student. Going, how much pain can I try to hurt onto this person? We're in this MMA ring thinking he's going to get points for punches. I'm like, no, you're not getting any points for punches on this bad boy. You're going to have to wait for a submission or something. So I'm like, go ahead and do your little barrage. I'll wait for the little tired mark, and then be like, well, there's this quick thing to the face. Now, I'd go a quick thing to the face, but it's not with the glove. You see, you gotta unglove this bitch. She's the rubber chicken. You can't be hitting the chicken with no glove. Glove? I don't need the glove, man. They put it on there to protect you, not me. You're not thinking you're going to be fighting a rubber chicken with no glove on you, dude. No. We need a quick one right to the face, right to obscure the vision. Now we have to go for the vision. Why? Because we know the man likes to drink, do we? Well, we've seen some reasons to believe that McGreggor likes to have him a nice little nipsy. Probably more than that. I'm guessing McGregor's the kind of guy to go through a bottle of vodka in about 10 minutes. You know? 10-minute bottle. He's probably there, competing with his buddies, doing all the big drinking party, all that mess, dude. He's probably partying up like those fools do. You know it. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna give him a quick one to the face after he gets a little bit tired, just to obscure I just want his vision slightly obscured because I know how it is to walk around blurry. I'm gonna make him feel right at home. I'm gonna give this man the chair. That's how I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna give you the chair, son. First, I'm gonna make you feel right at home. I'm gonna make you feel all like you just woke up in the morning on Friday. When is it Friday? Good, I can start drinking. But the way you feel on Friday morning is how you gonna feel. So I'm gonna make you feel right at home. Give you a little pillow to sleep on. First, I'm getting skew that vision, man. Yeah, make you feel sick to the stomach. Yeah, you feel right at home. So. I'm gonna put you on that couch. Put you on that chair. And then I'm gonna go for those shins. Why? Because I know things. I know things about training that you wouldn't even believe. And when I look at the man's shins, I go, yeah, I've seen shins like that before. And I think to myself, do you want to punch a man in the shins? Nah. That usually doesn't work out well for anybody. It's very rare. It does happen, but it's rare. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to go and actually hit him in the shin. I'm obscured his vision, of course, with the quick hit to the face. I'm not going to really describe it, really. I'm not going to give it away. I'm just going to say there may not be glove involved. And he keeps hitting people like he's trying to, he's trying to bruise them. I'm like, you're going to bruise me. Okay, well, you get the quick hit to the face for your bruises. And then I'm going to go to work on them shins. Because you think it up top. You're like, well, the next hit's going to come up top because I'm blind, right? Of course. I'm going to go swing wildly. I'm going to put up a guard. I'm going to do something to block my face because my vision's obscured. I better go block the face. I wouldn't be thinking about those lovely, lovely, soft, hairless shins. Sorry. I go right to town on them, son. Gnawing at them, biting on them, putting barbecue sauce on them and stuff. You'd be like slathering them up. I would. I'd be slathering them. Like I'm going to be barbecuing them later. Like, I'm going to tenderize your shit. I'm going to make them tender for later. But I'm not going to use my fist because that's just weird. There must be some other part of my body that I could be using to do some real work. Like put in some hours, on a shin, like they're down there. I'm up here hitting them in the face, like they're way down there. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? I just quick hit them in the face. I'm not really out of body position or anything, That's just, you can do that with just one arm. And now I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to stand. I'm just stand there for a few seconds thinking about it. What do I want to do to these shins? I'll lather them up. Maybe I'll put some sunscreen on them. Yeah, get them all nice and primed. I think to myself, what's the easiest, quickest, simplest, most ridiculously dumb thing that I could do to this man's shins and not have to waste a lot of energy? Because I'm really not really into wasting energy. Not at all. Not in the ring. So I go to myself, well, I'm gonna have to do something quick because this man's he's an aggressive person, you know? Psychologically, he's still out there fighting dogs. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm gonna go to town and raw, meaty leather on your shin, son. Now, if you don't know about a certain attack, it really matters about the angle of the shin with the certain attack. Now, it's extremely painful if you can do it right. But I'll tell you right now, you have to ascertain the angle of the shin properly, or the attack doesn't work. A lot of people have tried this attack, but it's not really easy to do. It really depends on kind of like, you know, the situation. You have to like know the attack, but you don't use it until exactly the right time. So there's just one thing that you can do to a man's shins while you're just standing there. That's extremely painful and actually could be dislocating if done correct. If you do it correctly, it's dislocating. You understand? It's basically an attack that's designed to break a man's shin with your foot. And you have to do it very, very non-delicately, yet at the same time precise. You know, if you're not precise, it just could be you stomping your foot or, you know, looking really funny like some Julia Louis-Dreyfus dance or something. You know, I mean, it could work out to not benefit you. So people that understand this attack, they have a tendency to practice it, because if you mess it up, it could be bad for you. It's one of those gambles. It is. It's a gamble type of attack to the shin, but you have to do it right. If you have the aggression in you, and you don't see a man's shin, you just see like an already broken bone. Like if you can see it in your head prior to actually doing the attack, like you may be able to pull it off. And you have to do it fast and hard and really good. And a lot of times you don't actually break the bone. So you have to do it as hard as you possibly can. Because even people that try to do it, like, I'm going to hold back, like, I don't want to break his bone, they just wind up just kind of hurting them a little bit. Like, it kind of hurt a little. You have to do the attack in the mindset that you're going to just destroy this man's shin bone into 500 billion pieces with one hit. That's what you have to have in your mind. And your aggression level has to go from almost, you know, not calm, but slightly, you know, in the mood of fighting, we'll say. Like, you're not overly aggressive. You still, you know, you're high and you're tense because you're fighting, but you're not like aggressive, like sweat coming out of you and you're, you know, snarl coming out of your face and stuff, and you're just wildly swinging. Like, you're not all pissed off like that. You're not some moron. But in your mind, you have to increase the level of aggression at the attack point to be at what's known as an exponential infinite level, but only at the precise point of attack. And when you can do that quickly, then you possibly can take that man's shin bone and turn him into a cripple. That quick. But like I say, you better practice this maneuver. You better be breaking some boards. You better be breaking some wood. You're not going to go in there and just pull this bad boy off just because you've been kicking a bag for the last 5 years and thinking you're just going to stomp on somebody's shin bone and it's going to smash. Don't think you're going to pull it off. And truthfully, in MMA, you're not actually allowed to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that actually get you disqualified. Be like, dang it. You know, I don't even have an MMA career. Tell you to think about it. What do I care if I get disqualified? To Mr. Cripple here on the floor. The smashed shin bone. He might recover in a few years. Yeah, he'll get back in the ring in like 10 years or something. He'll be back one day. He'll be all gray. Be still yelling at people all drunk. Be like, yeah, it's him again. Here he comes in his chair. He's got a walker. He's coming to fight. Yeah, it's McGregor. Everybody be talking about, like, man, we haven't talked about him in 10 years. Ever since he got his shin smashed by some hobo on the street. I'll be laughing my ass for the rest of my life going, MMA career? I didn't know I had one. I just got up on Friday. So they said, get in the ring. I said, what? I said, I just got up on Friday. And they said, get in the ring. I said, why Friday morning? Like, well, you know why. Like, good. He might get up. What do you mean he might get up? He just smashed his shin bone into a million pieces. Like, what if I miss? What if I just glance off and just, like, it hurts like son of a bitch, but he, like, rubs it off and he has to keep fighting? I'm like, what if I have to keep fighting after that? You never have to think about that, do you? You're like, well, no. The fight's supposed to be over that quickly. You're like, well, you know, sometimes that doesn't go to plan. It's fighter theory all wrapped up into a nugget. That plan was supposed to work. For some reason, it didn't work out completely the way I expected it to, so we have to keep on going until somebody tears us apart. So I have to think to myself, okay, he's got a maybe smashed, maybe just massively bruised shin bone. Hopefully at this point. So we're just going to go from there. I'm like, well, okay, he's hurt pretty bad, like bad. First he's blinded, but the blind wears off quickly. Now he's just got to focus on his shin going, I better rub this baby for a while. Big old red mark on it, being like, you know you just got hit. Like hard, son. Like trying to break that bone hard. Which bone? It don't matter. Cranium I try to stay away from, because that usually just, you know, unless you've got an object, that's usually bad. But when it comes to all the other bones, I'm like, well, which ones are exposed? Probably the ones you can see. That's why I love to fight these skinny ass fighters, because I'm like, let me go look at all that. Look at all those bones you got. I studied Muay Thai, and we're doing MMA. I'm like, do I have to punch you? This is MMA we're fighting. I don't have to punch you. I could do some weirdness. Yeah. I'm like, well, there's one bone down. I tried to break it. Maybe it got a little soft, though. We'll probably be rubbing that off for a few minutes. We'll just sit back and wait. Now we'll just sit back and waiting and see what he does. Is he going to come in limping? Are they going to, like, you know, ring the bell or something? We're going to have some kind of upset of, hopefully there'll be an upset of fight, but not. Well, we just have to keep going, I guess. And I could take the advantage of him limping there and just go for some grapple maneuver, but then I have to roll around with the man on the floor. And this is like, I like to stay away from that. I do. I like to stay away from rolling around on the ground with the man on the floor. Because that's how I see MMA when I watch it. I go, why don't you just hit him hard enough to knock his pretty boy ass out and not have to roll around? I'm like, well, that's how I get into it when I do fighting. That's my mindset, is I'm not trying to grapple with you. I'm not trying to submiss you. I'm not trying to sweat you. I'm not trying to touch you in places I'm not supposed to. Gracie. I'm going to hit you so hard where you think about getting up going, decision time. I want to hit you so hard, your butt gets off the floor, and then that head starts, that head thing ringing. There's a point where your body hits the ground, you feel okay for a second, and you just feel like, I'm just going to get up. And as soon as your butt hits off the ground, your head starts to do this ringing thing. Like, that's how hard I'm going to hit the man. Like, I'm not sure what he's going to do next. He's probably going to try to kick me. I'm like, yeah, this man's got decisions. Real good decisions, man. He'll probably try to kick me. If not, he'll probably try to do some more of his punching. Now, since he's back to punching, which is what he usually does anyway, I may have to sit there and try to actually box the man for a minute. I'm like, well, boxing? This is supposed to be an MMA fight. I'm not sure I have to do any real boxing here, but instead, I'm going to understand that he's going to come in with some boxing-esque punch. I call them boxing-esque punches. That's what McGregor throws. They're boxing, but they're, just sort of. So now I'm at the point where, like, maybe we'll have to start the fight now. So I'll have to sit there and pretend to box the man in an MMA fight? I'm like, do I have to? Do I? Because there's other things you can do besides boxing. I know a lot of people think that boxing is the best, but there's a lot of other people that think that other styles of kung fu might actually trump your boxing barrage of attack. Now, he's not going to come in with the barrage this time because he's weakened, but he's still going to come in with his punches. You know it. So I'm like, can I just do some kung fu? Am I allowed? This is MMA. Am I actually allowed to do some actual kung fu in the ring? Because boxing and kung fu are not the same. They're not at all the same, are they? At all. We know this. Traditional kung fu is not very much like boxing. It's more like the Karate Kid or some crap. So I'm like, well, do I actually have to box the guy? No. What if I hit him with a 2-part crane attack? Right there in the middle of the ring. I'm like, am I going to get disqualified for this? I haven't seen it yet. Not many people can land it in real time either, unless you're on cinema, but if someone comes into you boxing, I mean, it's that, you're just looking at their form. You're not even looking at their attack at the point. It could be a left jab. It could be some kind of haymaker. It could be a swing. It could be a body shot. I mean, they're coming in boxing. You're just out. First, you're analyzing the style, okay? You have to do this in real time. You have to do these quick decisions. So I know at this point he's going to come in punching and swinging and stuff. So I'm like, well, I can get right in the form with him and we can go around the match. We can do the whole roundabout the match. We can do the grappling. We can do the punching. We can do the whatever you call that with, stupid things and stuff. I'm like, we could get into all that if you want to. Or I can go on the offensive again during your incoming boxing assailant, in what's known as a 2-hit crane style. Now, this is designed to knock somebody out. This is a crane attack which is designed to hit somebody in a manner where their jaw causes them unconsciousness. This is something you have to know about human anatomy to make work. And you have to do the same thing. You have to be precise. Very, very, very and extremely precise. And that's what I'd probably do. That's what I'd decide to do. I'd go for I'm going to nail this bastard as hard, as few as hits as I can, to just lay him into that. I got my head ringing. I don't even feel like getting up. Can you get me a soda, please? We call it the chair. Bring this man a chair. He needs a soda. He doesn't want to get up. That's how I want to hit the man. Now, in the crane attack, a lot of people think like, well, it's all like Karate Kid, right? You just sit there and wait and you kick them once. I'm like, no, son, you have no understanding of the real crane, do you? That's because little Mr. Freaking what's his LaRusso ass can't do nothing but sit there, kick you. Not there, Danny boy. I'll tell you about a two-hit crane attack that knocked this man so incredibly unconscious that he'll just be sitting there and be like, somebody will just show up with it. They'll just show up with a chair. They will. They'll just be like, let's give this man, just give him some water, give him a chair, give him some air, you know. And I could actually sit here and describe. I can sit here and describe it to you in precision detail of how it works. Because you don't actually stand there with one leg off the ground and kick a man in the head. It doesn't actually work. Not this crane attack. This crane attack is what's known as in the crane field as a specific. There's not much in the crane style that's left up to chaos. And yeah, you do need some quick thinking, but most of crane attacks are all extremely precision based if you don't really understand that. They are. That's one thing the Karate Kid did understand. It's very precise. There's not a lot of like swinging and bobbing around and all types of stuff. You basically are hitting someone so they're basically out or dead. And superior craners, they don't actually go for kill strikes unless they have to. They'll just knock you out because that's good enough. You just knock him out, walk away, wakes up tomorrow, think whatever he wants. That's the best. One hit, knock you out, bye, see you tomorrow. Fight over. But I'm like, I gotta go on an offensive crane, not a defense. He's like, he taught defensive crane on the screen. Good. Thank you. I'm so glad you did. They didn't even delve into offensive crane, did they? They never thought about what's known as distance precision attacking in a combo manner going, which leg am I gonna hit first? I wonder. Because this is a two-hit attack method, which goes for a lower than an upper. It's what they call an up-down. Everybody does it up, body, head. It's an up-down. But you go for the leg and then the head. Why? Because a lot of people are going to reach down immediately. The instant reaction for most people when they get hit in the leg is actually reach down to grab the leg that's been hit. This is the non-fighter's traditional, reaction. Most people, if they get hit in the leg a certain way, will react to it just automatically. It's autonomous reaction for most people, unless you're good enough trained out of it. You can do that, though. So you go for the leg. I'm just thinking, well, I wonder which leg I'm going to go for. Yeah. So you do the leg attack, and then you go for the head. When you hit the head, you have to go upward like an uppercut. It's basically designed to hit you in the jaw in a manner that basically rings your skull like a bell. You basically use the jawbone as the little bell ringer for the bell. That's basically what you're supposed to do with this attack. And many people just don't see it coming because they're expecting a boxing. They're expecting you to match them at the boxing level because they just switched into boxing all of a sudden. They're like, well, he's going to have to box me. I'm like, well, I could. But I decided to do an offensive crane with precision. And I'm like, oh, I've never seen that before. Like, you didn't play any games, did you? That's the one thing about McGreggor is he didn't actually play any of the games. He didn't play Tekken 2. And I think to myself, do I have to go crane? Could I switch it up? Could I go king? Because I don't really like rolling around on the floor with guys, but if you go king, there may be a little bit of that. I mean, you may have to keep it down. Because we're already weakened on that leg. That leg's already been like, well, it's probably a bit soft. So I don't have to go Crane. I could go King. I could Tekken 2 his ass because I know he never played that game. I'm like, hey, he didn't play any of the games, did he? What an idiot. He's the rubber chicken, man. You just keep beating him because he just keeps coming back. He keeps coming back up. You can't actually kill the thing unless you get like a sword out or a gun. You just can't kill it. You just have to keep beating it down until it stops getting it. That's all you can do. So I'm like, well, the Crane might work, but I might King you. I might go for a little bit of a takedown. You know, a takedown. Good takedown. He's got a weak knee, so I'm like, I might go for the other leg. I might decide to go for the other leg. I'm like, you're a boxer. Sorta. I'm first gonna take down the legs. First, I'm gonna do the legs. If I can't ring you, if I can't just knock you out, I'm gonna take down the legs. I'm gonna make him wobbly. Wibbly wobbly, man. He won't be dancing around. He won't be yelling. He'll be sitting there wobbling, standing in the ring, wobbling. I'm like, man, he be sitting there going, man, is it the next match? Is it the next round yet or something? I hit him a bunch of times, but it didn't seem to hurt him at all. And like, he did hit me. No, I didn't deny that. No, he hit me. He punched me. He kicked me. I've got, look at that bruise. Look. No, look at the bruise. He hit me. I don't deny it. But look at him. He looks a bit wobbly right now. He looks like he can barely stand because the other leg got it. Which leg? The other leg got kinged. And I don't even want to give it away because some of you out there laughing right now, knowing exactly what I'm talking about, going, yeah. That's that other maneuver. That's a good one, too. There's a lot of breakage involved if you do it right. A whole lot of breakage involved if you do it correctly. You're trying to break the man's bone. You're not actually going to succeed. That's the thing. You're in the MMA ring. You know you're not actually going to succeed in breaking the man's bone, but you're trying to. And I'm going to take the man's legs away from this boxer right here. I'm just going to leave him his arms. You can have the arms. Keep the arms. But I'm taking those legs away from you. I'm going to make you stand there and shadow punch. So that's what I do. That's what I do to this piece of human garbage. Abusive, disgusting human being that should be sent down to the bio level of hell where he can be with his family. That's what I'd like to do. That's what I'd send him down there. But I'm not going to do it personally. We got other people for that. I'm just going to make him real wiggly. Real wiggly. And then I'm sure at some point he's going to still sit in there barraging me and, punch and keep punching. He's just going to keep punching me and elbowing and punching and biting and swearing and spitting and all types of vile stuff's going to come from the man's face, I'm sure. And he's just going to keep trying to hit me in the back of the head. I'm like, dude, you suck. Because I know you're wobbly, but you're still trying to punch me, so I'm just going to back up. I'm going to back up a bit. Yeah. After I king maneuver the leg, I'm just going to back up a bit just to make him stand. Just to get him up and stand, and then I'm going to pretend to box him. Yeah, then we're going to go boxing. And we're going to start boxing. Then, at that point, then we start boxing. I'm going to stand there. I'm going to put my guard up. I'm going to start throwing punches. I'm gonna start throwing little jabs. I'm gonna start hitting him in the little facey face. I'm gonna stand there and box him and just stand there and box him. That's it. I'm just gonna stand there. I'm not gonna even dance around. I'm not gonna do nothing. Just stand still. Watch the man wiggle. And box him. Yeah, I'm gonna give him all types of little left hooks and little jabs to the jaw. I'm gonna hit him with a couple little elbows to the noggin. I'm just gonna knock him around a bit. I'm just gonna keep knocking him around. Yeah, like a little bell. And this is going to go on for at least a round or two. Just knocking him in the head. I'm turning my human punching bag. I'm going to turn him into the human disgusting punching bag. And I'm going to keep hitting him in that stomach. All the stomach shots he could ever want. Right to the gut. Keep going for the gut and the gut and the gut. He'd be like, gut, another gut. Oh, I was going to hit in the face. No, gut. No, I'm going to hit in the face and the gut and the gut and gut. It's gut punches. He's like, oh, he's all weak in the legs. His gut hurts. What do we do now? Oh, we back up a bit. We lazy it. We get lazy on this Irishman. We just back up on our nice springy legs. All springy, real springy, for the kickmaster. We get to the other side of the ring. We're like, I'm on my way over here for a second. Yeah, just out of his sight, just for no good reason. Just for no reason at all. I'm just gonna back up real far, to the other side of the gone. And he's going to be sitting there with his wobbly legs, his hurt shin, his messed up knee, his hurt gut, just sitting there, standing there going, hey, come here. And he's going to be throwing that little, like, come here thing. I'm like, all right. Hey, hold on a second. I'm going to stand there for a few seconds, just like pumping up my shoulders, not even doing anything. I'm even get the crowd involved at this point. I'm just gonna be pumping up the crowd at this point. I'm gonna be like hanging on to the cage and banging my head against it and pumping up. I'm gonna be pumping up the crowd at this point. I'm gonna be saying, yelling things too, like, "Here it comes!" I'll be yelling things like, "Here it comes!" And now I'll turn around and face my opponent and just stand there for about half a second, just looking at him like, hey, come and get me. Oh, yeah? No problem, sonny. We in the ring. I'll come get you. I'll come get you that chair. I'll make a beeline right for this dude. Point fast, sprint like, dude. Go fast. Right across. Even duck my head down a bit, thinking he's going to go for a body tackle. He's got his head ducked down real far. He must be coming in for one of those usual good old-fashioned body tackles. You know he is. Look at him. He's ducked all the way down, coming in fast. You know he's going to try to shoulder me into that stomach that he just beat on. You know he's going to do it. Or we run in real fast, and he's never seen it before. Because he didn't play the game. You see, you run in real fast, you got your head down like you're going to be body tackling, right? But after about 2 or 3 steps of that mess, you change gear and you go full battle toad on his ass. I'm talking about leaping overhand hammer punch duel. Clasped. Just like some Street Fighter. I'm going to Street Fighter ass in that chair, son, because he didn't play the game. I'm going to come in there with double overhand leaping to the head like a Russian for his Irish ass. and just clobber him down. Just keep clobbering. As soon as his head hits mat, I'm just gonna keep clobbering, son, until they have to peel me off him. Until they have to peel my fingernails through the glove off his dead skin. If it got that far. I mean, I'm not gonna say it will, but that's what be going through my mind, is like breaking that bone. That's what I'd do to Mr. McGregor after, psychoanalyzed him. I'd give him that chair. Big time. Now I write little letters and stuff to people, gloating about it. Real big time on the radio, on TV, just gloating while he's sitting in the hospital bed. Just gloating as much as I possibly can, holding rubber chickens and stuff. It'd be great. Totally ridicule the man into nothingness. Or I can call some buddies in the government. We could do a real number on them. But that's for another time. It's for another episode of Some Guy in the Phone.